Welcome to another episode of the Kickabout podcast. Football is back this weekend, and we are also back with another episode right here on the Kickabout podcast. This week, we're joined by a very special guest. Joshua, would you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey guys, my name is Joshua. I am an avid Chelsea supporter. Hashtag out with Kepa. Yep.
Well, Premier League is back this weekend, but also there was the Clasico. How did you feel about that game, Tejas, as a Barca fan?
Uh, fuck VAR. I cannot be asked to deal with VAR at this point. Okay, I'm okay. You argue with me, but that's not a fucking penalty, man. It's one. Okay, short pull, fine. Okay, let me clear it out. First of all, Ramos instigated the challenge. He goes around pushing Longley. Okay. So Longley just holds on to him. Okay, maybe unintentionally drags his shirt, and Ramos decides, well, okay, I'm not going to obey the laws of physics. I'm going to fall down the other side. Just falls down like this. Referee said, penalty. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Calm down, brother. Man jumped right into it. So, talk us through the game. So, the game finished 3-1. Madrid scored first right after Fat Man Ansu equalized, and then Madrid killed the game with two brilliant goals. So, what do you think of the game overall?
I'm sorry, two brilliant goals. Brilliant goals.
I mean,
The
your
last goal
defense
was
was
good.
kind of
I'll give
shit.
them
So,
that. Yeah, defense is. Yeah, I have a lot to speak about the defense. So, yeah, you can make your point. Go ahead.
no, I was saying Madrid were coming into this game on the back of I think three results where they hadn't picked up maximum points. So I think there was two defeats and one draw, if I'm not wrong. And then they
Yeah.
turn up to your home stadium and somehow defeat you right after you've won 5-1 in midweek. So where do you think it went wrong, essentially?
Okay, see, first half after Ansu Fati equalized, the team, I think we were gelling well together, especially Jordi Alba, Ansu Fati, Messi. These three were in good coordination with each other. I don't know. I think it's from the. As a fan, I would like to say it was after that terrible penalty call that the whole team just fell to shambles. But realistically, the whole game, whenever Madrid were in our half, I was always shit scared because I'm scared of what nonsense our defenders can do. But I'm not going to bash the defense entirely. Out of all the defenders, I think the only one bright spot was probably Dest. He was by far our best defender on the field. Jordi Alba, after that first, after his involvement in that first goal, he was useless afterwards. PK is forever useless. Longley, I don't know. He was meh at best. Yeah, and then
Right.
and I'm also going to say that Messi definitely didn't turn up as I expected him to. I think his
Messi, I don't think wants to play for the club anymore. I feel that Barca should have let him go
okay,
this summer, and Messi has just like given up. He plays centre mid when he's supposed to be playing striker, doesn't track back, and I think
yeah,
Barca
I
should have
Yeah.
mean
let Messi leave
that's a
so
fair
that
point. Yeah, I
they
mean,
could play better.
during that whole saga, I was saying if he leaves, it's going to be good for us. It gives our young talent a chance to actually develop, so they don't forever remain in his shadow as long as he's with the club. And then
Makes a lot of
also,
sense.
I don't know why See, Messi is not really much of a striker anymore. I don't know why Koeman still plays him at that position. You just drop him back and play Griezmann up front. But I mean, Koeman has been
Right. So
critical of his performances, so we'll see what's to
on
come.
that note, let me put this question open to a guest. Joshua, did you have a chance to watch the game? And do you think Messi is past his best and Barca would be better off without him?
Yeah, I definitely watched the game. It was pretty okay game except for the referee calls. Um what was the question again? If Messi is past his age, right? I mean like his
Yeah, if he's
yeah.
past his best and if Barca would be better off without him.
Honestly, Barca need him, okay? Because what I noticed from that game is the teams are pretty even, okay, except for the fact that Real Madrid have Ramos and what's it called? Barca have PK. That's the main difference between these two. Because see, Messi is like the top class player and stuff like that, but he's balanced out easily by the chemistry with the with the front players of Real Madrid. So it's just the defense that Barca needs to work on. Messi honestly could do well this season. But after this season, if he hasn't performed, then I mean, my opinion is probably going to change. So yeah.
That's
Fair enough. I
fair
mean, I
evaluation.
do hope he turns up at City just for the shirt sales. But
Ah,
regardless of
okay.
that, uh, uh, my final question while we're on this topic is: do you think Antoine Griezmann still has a way to make it back into the Barca side? And what is the main reason he's out of it currently?
Mm, I think Coutinho's out for this Juventus game. So I want to
Yes,
see Keegan start Griezmann with Messi on the right again rather than playing Messi at strike. And I want to see how that plays out. Because if Barca
he's
lose to
probably doing
Juventus
that.
as well after losing to Madrid, it'd be a bit of an embarrassment for the club.
Yeah, fair point. Mm. See, I'm gonna go into this Juventus game and have zero hope because every time I have low expectations, the Barca team will show up, and the minute I set my expectations, I finish. They will just fuck it up entirely. So I'm gonna go in with very low expectations. But yeah, inshallah, let's see
Right.
how it turns out.
Boys, moving on and changing the whole country. EPL was back, and I think this could be called as the weekend when EPL became sober. There were a few
Yeah,
shock results, more like we expected. One game though, which caused a big fucking upset, was Arsenal losing to Leicester City at home, I think.
Would you call that an upset? Or
one, I think only
something
one
which
friend
everyone
of ours will
expected?
be upset.
Again,
But what
like
do you guys make of it? Yeah.
as I mentioned before, Arsenal turn up and Aubameyang turns up. And Aubameyang hasn't turned up in the past 5 game weeks. And again, he didn't. And Arsenal lose 1-0 to Leicester. Uh, I don't know what can Arsenal do at this point.
Jamie
They
Vardy
Yeah, I
did try
having
mean,
something
Thomas
new though.
Partey.
No, they did try something new. So there was
Yeah,
Partey's home debut, and they played four at the back, contrary to the three they generally play. Joshua, what do you make of that?
um, I mean, like it just goes to say that Arsenal can have the shots on target, can have the possession and everything. I mean, but Leicester have that clinical finish. And also, do you think that goal was an offside? Because Arteta was pretty upset about it. Arsenal's goal.
Mm, I don't
uh,
think that was offside. No, that
the
wasn't.
thing
That
is,
was in like the first minute of the play.
yeah, they ruled it offside, saying that there's obstruction, but he really didn't obstruct the keeper because Schmeichel dived the wrong way and the ball just goes in after he moves past it. So, in my opinion, that was an offside, but in the end, VAR just keeps on upsetting us day by day.
You know what, Dave? You brought up this point. I think, like you know how in IPL they have like the teams can call reviews, right?
Yeah,
I think
Right.
they should bring that system for VAR because this whenever this fucking VAR decides to make any decision by themselves, they just scuff it so badly. I
yeah.
really don't.
And as an IPL, when the umpire is making a decision, they keep on talking throughout the whole process, explaining the viewers what is the mistake. Over here, the referee goes to the side, we monitor, watches it, and then rules a decision which usually the fans are unhappy about. So I think first thing they need to do is give each team a review. If the review is successful, they can retain it,
Yeah,
and the umpire and the referees need to keep on talking throughout the through when what they're watching, so that the viewers get to know why are they making such a decision.
That's a very good point you people bring up. So Stockley Park is like this estate in London where VAR is centered. So that's where all the decisions come from. And I do not know if there's a weed dealer somewhere nearby, but they do smoke a lot of it. But talking about Arsenal and talking about how Leicester were able to show their clinicalness, as Joshua said. and come away with all 3 points at the Emirates. So my question is, they've recently not registered Mesut Ozil for the Premier League. So they pay this dude 350 grand a week to not even register him to play. So when you see Arsenal lose in such fashion, do you think Arteta is making a mistake?
Mesut Ozil, I'm not sure if adding him to the squad also would make such an improvement because I haven't seen that guy play in such a long time. But leaving him out, paying 350 grand a week is, I don't know what Arteta has done over there.
I mean, that's the
But
dream.
they do have good enough midfielders. I feel like Ceballos, Xhaka, and they signed Thomas Partey as well.
True.
So I don't know what Mesut Ozil could bring because he hasn't played in a long time. But we aren't going to see him at all.
Right, makes sense. Earlier on, I think you also brought up Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and this guy was everyone's pick for the Golden Boot this year. Now, I want to ask Joshua whether he thinks Aubameyang could win the Golden Boot and if he's actually a world-class striker.
Aubameyang, yeah, he's definitely a world-class striker. However, the Golden Boot, I still don't know because he turns up on some days, but on other days he's just not as doesn't play as expected. Um, yeah, but I mean, like there are much better strikers. I'm not gonna say Werner, but uh, yeah, Aubameyang not yet. We'll have to see in the coming weeks if he can actually perform as expected, and only then will we be able to make a educated decision.
Well, you're a Chelsea fan. What do you think of Arsenal being called a retirement home for Chelsea players? So that's a shit ton of players who go there for the last few years of their playing careers. That's Petr Cech, Willian, who else?
David Luiz.
David Luiz. Yes. Why do you
I
keep
mean,
offloading your players, man?
after greatness, you need somewhere to lay low for a bit. So you have to go to
Okay,
Arsenal. There's no other club.
yeah, Arsenal fans are gonna come at you, but uh,
But looking at the tactics of the game of both managers employed, Arsenal played four at the back from changing from their usual five at the back, while Leicester played five at the back, changing from their usual four at the back. And Harvey Barnes, who was striking for Leicester, was covering Thomas Partey, who is Arsenal CDM. Uh, just Brendan Rodgers was playing Arteta ball.
but Arteta ball is damn effective, or at least has been in the last year or so. I think last week they just brought up the point that Arteta has been under Pep, and this is like one of the things that you run the risk of losing to a team which has 10% possession, one shot on target, and still wins the game because you take so much risk trying to play this high possession based football that if you have enough quality on the other counter attack you are dead meat, as simple as that. And Vardy has been showing that time and again. He scored three past City. He scored this winner in this game too. So, do you think that Arteta's tactics, he needs to play Arteta ball against smaller teams too?
Yeah, because clearly it's not working. And I think the one problem was David Luiz was playing well, but he got subbed off and Mustafi came on, and the defense just slept off for those few minutes, and Vardy just scores.
Damn true, damn true. Mustafi is, I think either of us could also challenge him in that squad, but who's to say?
uh,
Right, boys. Moving on. There was another. I do not know how to call this, but City due to West Ham 1-1 at the London Stadium. I do not know what to say about this. Let me ask Tejas. Tejas, do you think? What do you make of the game, and do you think Pep's time is up?
Let me get something straight first. I love Pep. I love Pep Guardiola. He's done a lot for my team. But at Man City, let's just say, as Ishan says, he's Pep Fraudiola. That's what I can call it as. I
I have
mean,
never said that. I want to put it
see,
in record, please.
okay. I have receipts I can expose. Don't worry. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, go
No,
on.
but I think see, it's a mixture of several factors. I think the first one being bad luck. and bad luck, which pertains to the constant list of injuries you guys keep adding every single season. And yeah, that is there. Then what else? Maybe I guess wrong tactics can probably not suiting him. I don't know. Guardiola's style of play doesn't. I mean, at the moment, I don't think it suits the way the Prem is being played by most teams. Guardiola's tactics don't work that way. I mean, when he first came to England, it was like a breath of fresh air to most teams. They're like, oh, this is a new style of football we're seeing. Oh, it's like it was hard to deal with. But by now, I think most teams are accustomed to the way he plays his games and the way he positions his players.
That is
So yeah,
100% true.
so I have a
No
feeling
doubt.
he needs to really evolve his tactics there. He needs to like a major revolution of tactics is needed. Otherwise, I think his time is pretty much up. I think
I
Sheikh
think
Mansour
Bernardo
got
Silva also
tired of
said that
him.
in the media that
Yeah,
that his tactics have become too predictable and he needs to change the way his team plays.
No, no, absolutely. Hear you. I think that's 100% true. Because I remember saying this to you when we were watching the game that every time this man sets up his team nowadays, he sets them up to fail. He goes away to London Stadium to play two holding midfielders against a West Ham team. Now I do not care what sort of a run West Ham are on. If you have the audacity to go play two holding midfielders away to West Ham, then you might as well be fighting for relegation because that is pathetic. Uh,
Oh,
because in hindsight, there were enough players on the bench who could change that game too. So he has bought Ferran Torres to show him around Manchester, but to not let him play a single game. And he was brilliant in midweek. If you remember, he came on and he scored that banger that sealed the game.
yeah,
yeah,
against
yeah.
this what was the team?
Porto.
Porto, yeah, Porto. And Mahrez still keeps on starting, slowing down the play, passing the ball back. Whereas Ferran Torres, I think, could have done better. Phil Foden also could have done better starting. He came on at halftime, equalizing against Antonio's brilliant goal.
He won man of the
I
match.
think, yeah, I think Pep really needs to change his tactics or get out of the club.
That was the club. That's one way
I
to
mean,
put it.
I think my stance on Pep Out has been there for a few weeks now, but I just want to make clear the man changed the English game, no doubt. 100 points,
Yeah,
98 points. But I just feel this is his fifth year at the job now. The man overthinks us at times. Football is damn simple. There's two posts, one ball, and 11 players on your team. And he does this mumbo jumbo, Roberto Firmino, fucking Johan Cruyff tactics. And against West Ham, man, you do not need to play fucking revolutionary tactics, but I think that's the way it is. Anyways, moving on, we have say I was expecting a lot from this next game. So at Old Trafford, United facing Chelsea. Last year it finished 4-0, I think, but it was a little
Yeah,
fuck
first
all.
game.
It
yeah.
was very fuck all.
This was a hotly contested game. It was a very entertaining game. I mean, no goals, sure, but fucking hell, it was entertaining to watch.
What do
That is true. I
you
think
think of that VR decision, Joshua?
I mean, I'm just mad. I mean, how haven't they given Harry Maguire literally RKOing Azpilicueta to the ground as not a penalty? I don't even understand. It should have been a penalty. Should have been called. Should have been a goal. Jorginho easy. I don't.
But then one thing Joshua can't be mad about was the defense. Your team's
Um,
Yeah,
defense.
Chelsea's
that.
defense.
Yeah, not United. Chelsea's defense.
I can't be mad about United's defense also. Harry Maguire with that
Yeah,
ballsy
a
move
good
in the
tackle,
box,
man.
grabbing
Good tackle.
Aspeliqueta. But Ole's tactics have recently been working, kind of playing Dan James and Mata, benching Van de Beek as usual, playing
That's
McTominay and
that's good.
Fred, bringing on
Uh,
Pogba.
Wait, benching Van de Beek is good for you.
It's an. I mean, where do you think he can play? If you can play Bruno on the right, where Mata was playing,
There
and
what was the point of having him at the club, no?
I'm not
very good point,
sure.
honestly. Patrice
Uh,
Evra midweek on Sky Sports, he was speaking
Yeah, that,
about how Van de Beek is warming the bench because they didn't really need him. So it's more like an appeasement signing for the club. But my question is, what exactly is Van de Beek's best position? Because in Ole's eyes, I think he only looks at him as like that Bruno kind of player, and that's why he thinks there's not enough space for the both of them. But in your opinion, do you think he could replace someone like a Scott McTominay or a Fred in that CDM role?
I think he could replace McTominay and not Fred because um, I think Van de Beek can play box to box, and
He
Mm-hmm.
is.
I think Ole has to try. Ole needs to be more brave because he keeps on playing the same team sometimes, but he needs to be brave, and I think he needs to start Cavani also for this Champions League game this week. But
Right.
I think he needs to start Van de Beek, Cavani, and Tellers.
Hey, Cavani came on and his first touch he almost scored, so that's good signs, I guess.
United
Uh,
did have better chances, and the Senegalese
But then
Spider-Man, as certain people
Senegalese
say,
Spider-Man.
saved Chelsea.
Yeah, that save against Rashford's strike. Oh my god, man. Jeez.
Joshua, what
Um,
do you think? Will Chelsea fare better with five at the back or four at the back this season?
Honestly, five at the back seems like the most safe choice. But Ishan, you asked me a while ago if Chelsea would stand a chance, winning the being champions of the Premier League,
yes,
and
it
I
is.
actually have like so the in this way of sorry way, I actually have a lot to say about that. Um, so the short
Yeah.
answer is no. I don't think they're gonna be champions of the Premier League, but that could change. And so the long answer is, so think of it as Chelsea being the player and a part of like a game. Okay, so
Okay.
the first game they played, Brighton versus Chelsea. Obviously, we won 3-1, but I didn't see any organization in the team. I didn't see anything in that. So that's like they're at level zero there, and you can clearly see that when when they lose 2-0 to Liverpool. Okay, and then West Brom they draw that. The first half shambles. Third half though they bring it back, and so they've upped their attack a bit. They've evolved a bit. Okay, and then next they play Crystal Palace. Here they absolutely destroy. It's perfect. They're improving their attack. And now against Southampton again they they mess up again. So they basically, and then against Man United, obviously the amazing defense. I just loved their defense that day. And so like I feel Chelsea is like kind of a new team right now with all the new players they're bringing in, and with every match they're going to keep on evolving. But champions don't like go through that process. Like for example, Liverpool, they just came in and destroyed from the beginning. So like that, for that reason, I don't think Chelsea is going to win the Premier League if they just keep on learning from each game and trying to evolve per game, because it's just too slow to actually win anything. Yeah.
I hear you on that point, but you brought up Liverpool over there. Now, Klopp's been building that team for 5 years. He had Lovren and bunch of players, Nathaniel Klein and Daniel Sturridge. So it's not like he put up world beaters in one season or one window. He spent 5 seasons trying to kick out people whom he didn't need, and he had to spend big at times too. But he spent it, and it's worked out. So you can't hold that spend against him. But the thing with Chelsea is, after the spend you've had this summer, now multiple teams have had spending overhauls over the years. United spent around 150 last year. City spent around 250 in 2017, the season they scored 100 points. Liverpool spent around 190 and they changed their whole fucking backline. Allison, Van Dijk, Fabinho. But after they've spent such exorbitant amounts of money, you've always been able to see a step up in performances the following season. Now, I know this circumstances are different for this season, but do you think that if Chelsea did not challenge for a title, it would be a failure on Lampard's part?
No. So okay, I feel like they should challenge the title, because that's, if they don't challenge the title, it's just stupid, because they've spent everything. They have to challenge the title, and also they have improved their performance. I mean, the first two clean sheets after with their new team, Thiago making an amazing tackle, stopping Cavani, and Mendy obviously like just the perfect replacement for Kepa. I mean. And yeah, so it's definitely an improvement. They can challenge the title, but if they go with the pace they are right now, where they take one step forward and also another backward, I mean one step backward and then forward, it's not going to happen. But I feel like they can, but mostly not. They probably won't.
Will any position
Hmm.
below top three be excusable for them?
I mean, looking at the
uh,
competition so far, I think any position looks very unpredictable because looking at the top four at the moment is what Everton, Villa, Leicester, Liverpool. So I don't know
No, I
how
hear
will
your
this
point
shape
about
up.
like the competitive nature of the league. But as they just said, anything below top three, do you think Lampard will still be at the bridge next season, Joshua?
no, right now my stance on Lampard is he should be out because his tactics aren't really
Ooh.
doing much. His tactics are
Hot
not doing
take.
anything for the team. Like I think I said this last week, but I was like, no, I think Lampard has to get sacked because I feel like he's a very bland kind of manager. He isn't doing much. He's trying out new stuff. I guess that's a positive with him, and I hope he finds what a thing that works. But he keeps on trying different things, like every 2 games or 3 games, and some of them work sometimes, but some don't. And I don't know, his tactics aren't like really good. I don't think he should be at Chelsea anymore after this season.
You spoke about clean sheets, the first two clean sheets of the season. Now, my question is that pen to paper, Chelsea, you could argue have a better squad than Manchester United at the moment with Martial out. And when you went to play them, you played five at the back, while United, who have been terribly shaky at the back, played the four, and then they played the two holding midfielders. So, do you think playing five at the back with all the attacking options you have is detrimental to your attacking output, or do you think you're more satisfied with the clean sheet?
No, yeah, I'm more satisfied with the clean sheet to be honest because we really need the defense. Okay, Chelsea has a long history with defense. They need the defense, and if you sign Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and you have people like Pulisic up front, you don't really need anyone at the back, at the back up front. Okay, so I feel like the strikers, Timo Werner needs to really step up because he hasn't been playing well for the past 2 games, except for those 2 goals. But I mean, that was against, you know, yeah. So
Southampton.
it's and against Man United, you really need him to step up and score. And I don't know. I expect him to make these like key passes when he's up front. Like when even though he's a striker, I expect him to have the vision, like the thinking to actually pass it to someone to score. But he just gets the ball, fumbles it up front, and just messes up. That's what happened in the Sevilla game, and that's what happened in the Man United game. So I don't know.
Listening to your description of the player, if I didn't know you were talking about Timo Werner, it's not hard to assume that you were talking about Raheem Sterling. But- oh,
Also, just one last question regarding Chelsea. Do you think Hakim Ziyech is a bench player or he should be starting more often? Often.
Definitely starting, but I mean, I think they're just putting him on the bench so that he like they're just testing him out, testing the waters with him because I feel like he's a different kind of player, and Lampard still doesn't know. I told you he keeps experimenting with different stuff, and Lampard still doesn't know how Hakim Ziyech is going to fit into the team, and so he's just testing him out with how he plays, and I feel like he will be starting from like next game on. So we'll see.
But the thing is, if Chelsea play five at the back, how are they going to accommodate Werner, Pulisic, Havertz, Mount, Ziyech, Conte, Jorginho? And only if they
fair
play
question.
four at the back, maybe they could accommodate something like that.
Okay, so Mount and the Kolasinac, oh, not Kolasinac. What's that guy's name? The center mid.
Kovacic.
Kovacic.
Kovacic, yeah. Those two I feel are bench players. They can come on and and they can do stuff. But Mount definitely should not be starting for our team. I don't know. He scores a few goals sometime and then expects to be the best player, the best midfielder on the team. But I don't know. It's just I don't know why he keeps starting. I think Lampard has Yeah, just likes him. He likes young
They got a
boys.
blood relation, dude.
And yeah, but Kovacic also, I mean, he's a really class player, but I feel he can bring his pace and his quick thinking at the later part of the game and not in the beginning. And so I feel if Lampard makes those changes to his team, as in playing certain players on the bench who are not supposed to be in the beginning, who are not supposed to be played in the beginning, definitely they can accommodate for all the big names on the team.
Right, that's a pretty tidy answer. Wait, one last question from my side before we move on to cover the rest of the games. Quick prediction: where do you think Chelsea are finishing the season?
I'd say fourth. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably going to be fourth because the way the Premier League is going, it's going to be it's going to be Everton up top, uh, and it's probably going to be something like Liverpool second. Um, and yeah, I don't know about the third place. Maybe Tottenham, but Chelsea definitely have a good probability of placing fourth with the way they're playing right now. We'll see.
Right. That is
Mention Watson
optimism or
there.
pessimism. I do not know, but that is his prediction. Moving on to the rest of the games, boys. Everton, with a lot of red cards now, lost 2-0 at St. Mary's to Southampton. This
The run
game
again
is
did.
probably this is the game that burst Stage's bubble. That's how I'd like to put it. Uh,
So much for my ballsy prediction first episode. I don't. I
did you guys see the red card though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
many people are saying it's not a red, but in my opinion, I feel it's a red because of the angle on which he stepped on his foot, even though he didn't mean to. I
Yeah,
think
I
it
think it's
was
just
a
the way
clear
it
red.
falls on. Yes, but to talk about this game, Calvert-Lewin's scoring run comes to an end, and Southampton, who've been pretty shit, they got absolutely spanked on both cheeks by Tottenham at the same stadium a few days back. So, what do you think? What do you put this defeat down to? Is my question. What do you think went wrong?
The defense. This was definitely the
What
defense.
went wrong? I mean, Sigurdsson had that shot in the opening minutes,
Yeah.
hitting the bar,
Oh, well, yeah.
and yeah, and Southampton scored 2 goals after that. Don't know what to make of it because Southampton even drew to Chelsea 3-all. And Southampton, the problem with Southampton is they play that high line with slow centre backs, thinking they're
Definitely.
Bayern Munich. And then Danny Ings and Che Adams up front, who can certainly make a very good difference putting those goals in.
That
But
is
if
true.
Southampton play a slightly lower line, they could be a good team. But they did defeat Everton, bringing their run to an end.
So,
So
Tejas, does this change your predictions by any stretch of imagination?
No, I mean it's still early into the season. No, I wouldn't say it changes much. See, I think we're not even it's just game what this is game week 5, right? We were at game week 5, right? Or
6.
6. 6. Yeah, yeah, it's still well early into the season. So no, I wouldn't change put it past them. No. It is definitely possible.
That
But if that defense of theirs really needs to improve. And do you think Pickford needs to step his game up a bit more, or is he fine the way he is, or was he unlucky that much?
Joshua, do you want to take that one?
Uh, I actually I didn't watch the match.
That's no problem. But I mean, Joshua has been on the receiving end of Southampton's adventures recently, also when they drew 3-3 to Chelsea. What do you make of them on that game, though? Not on this game.
Chelsea versus Southampton. Yeah, 3-3. Right. So again, I mean, Timo Werner turned up that game. That was good. That I expected him to turn up much earlier, but he turned up there finally. Kai Havertz too. But I mean, again they did I think at that point their defense wasn't as like they weren't communicating properly, and plus we had Kepa in goal. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So I mean, if you have Kepa in goal, the only option Chelsea has is to outscore the opponent. They tried it with 3-0, but I mean, it's Kepa. So they're just gonna score. It's easy. I just hate Kepa. I just have this strong hatred for Kepa, as many Chelsea fans will agree. So
That is true. But I think in that particular game, Timo Werner did expose how slow Southampton centre backs are. Because those
Oh,
guys are giant as fuck, but they can't fucking move. They're immobile as fuck, dude. But
yeah.
yes,
talking, no, but the way they play, they do win a lot of these games. But what I've also noticed is that they get absolutely battered in some of these games. So you think back to that 9-0 last year, and then you think back to the resurgence towards the end of the season. Danny Ings plays like he's challenging for the Golden Boot, and there's Che Adams who's scoring goals from 50 yards. So all of this put together, do you think Southampton are strong enough to finish in the top 10 this year?
they could finish mid-table, but top 10, I'm not sure.
Top
I mean,
10 is a bit of a stretch. Mm, nah, I don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
really see it.
I think they'll probably place in like ninth. I mean, because 10th is obviously reserved for Man United.
oh, okay, okay.
Oh, I see. I see.
Oh, there's one more talking point from this game before we move on, is that Richarlison got a red the game against Liverpool
Agreed.
last week. Lucas Digne has a red this week,
Alright.
which means he'll come back 1 month, 1 day from now. So, for all the squad strength and the squad depth that we talked about, do you think these red cards are going to affect their results in the upcoming weeks?
I mean, it's just good for United because we don't have to face either of them when we play them next week. But
Every it for different things.
I'm not worried about the Richarlison situation. I'm more worried about what they're going to do with Luca Digne. Who is going to replace him? That's what I'm worried about.
Right.
Which
Fair,
other
fair
left
point.
back do they have?
I did not know. I remember Ben Godfrey. He played right
he
back
was playing
when
right back because
Right back.
Coleman's out at the moment.
Coleman's out. Yeah.
Left back, Alex Iwobi.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who else can play left back for Everton.
boys
And that
similar to Everton, top of the table. Aston Villa's honeymoon period in the Premier League came to an end with Patrick Bamford scoring one tap in and two fucking world class goals to win 3-0 on the night. Let me ask Joshua this question. What do you make of Aston Villa's start to this season? And also, do you think the way Leeds play, they're going to have a few big results this year?
Yeah, Aston Villa's start to the Premier League was obviously amazing. Any team would like that start. But Leeds, I mean, I don't know. Leeds are just showing up this season after being promoted to the Premier League. Like, damn, they're really pulling out some really good performances. Leeds, especially, I mean, Bramford with the hat trick. But I mean, Leeds as a team is just it's on par with. I mean, I'm pretty sure they could challenge Chelsea or Man United and still pull up a really good result. It could be a draw. They might even win because their attacking power is just amazing. Like they attack very quick and they attack very well. And their coach has all. I mean, all the credit goes to their coach because their manager, because I mean, I think he's a really he really knows how to play football,
He's a very
even though
good
he's a bit
manager.
weird. Yeah, but he knows
Yeah,
football is in his in his mind all the time, and you can just see that when you look at him. And yeah,
He's
he's just
always
gonna
squatting on
bring
the
Leeds to new
touchline.
heights.
yeah.
But Marcelo Bielsa has this training method. So it's called murder ball. I remember Jack Harrison, who's on loan from Man City, speaking about it before the start of the season. So it's a 180-minute game of football, 11v11, with three balls and no breaks.
Oh my god.
It's called murder
180
boys.
minutes.
So that's their
Oh.
physical conditioning. They can play 180 minutes.
Oof.
That's mad.
But do you think
Yeah.
Patrick Bamford could challenge for the Golden Boot this season?
Ooh. Ooh, nice question. Um, so this is Patrick Bamford's second time around in the Premier League. He used to play for Chelsea before, but he was another wasted talent like De Bruyne, Lukaku, Salah, and yada yada. The list is so long. Uh, but first full season back in the Prem, I do not think he'll win it. He's still pretty raw, but I definitely think he's a player who'll get you 15 goals a season minimum.
I mean, he
I
has
mean,
scored 6 and 6 so far.
yeah, I mean,
So
I put him as one of the strikers who's like, he's not like talisman, goal scoring, but he will score the goals when you need him to. That's what he is. He's not there for the records or anything. He's just there to play for that team so that the team wins. That's all I see him as. Not to discredit him in any way, but I think, yeah, I'd group him as that kind of a striker. The striker your team needs to get you the winning goal. That's how it is. Not someone to challenge for a golden boot.
Right, boys. Just to word on Aston Villa, this is their first loss. Do you think they're going to go downhill from here? Do you think it's a slump? What do you think is going to be
I
their
don't think
performance
one
now?
loss can be classified as a slump. No, I don't think you can. That's a bit harsh. I think how they perform next game may give us a good indication of the trajectory. Yeah.
I think Villa's going to lose their next game.
Whom are they playing?
I don't know who are they playing, but I feel that they're going to lose
Okay,
because
that's
it's,
intuition
it's
much.
just a prediction. They're playing
uh,
Southampton.
Southampton.
Southampton at
Oh, that'll
home,
be
I
a good
think.
game.
Yeah, yes,
Grealish
definitely
gonna
would
run
be.
around those defenders, man.
Boys, we're somewhat running out of time, but before we go, because we have a guest with us today, I just want to touch on Tottenham Hotspur and what you make of their start to the season now. That 6 games in, lose to Everton, lose to Lanzini's once in a lifetime. They didn't lose, but they dropped 2 points there. But they won last night, and Harry Kane and Son are shaping up to be some fucking
Prime
deadly
Neymar and
combination.
Messi.
They're the best couple I've
They,
ever
they
seen
don't
in
dive
football,
as much,
man.
man. They don't dive as much.
Hey,
So they're
Messi,
racking
Neymar,
me
is
up those
Neymar.
FPL points, and they're playing
Yeah,
very well on the pitch, gelling perfectly.
they're the best
I was
couple, dude. That's it. They just go so well together. It's as simple as that.
I was checking FPL this morning, and only 4,355 people transferred Son out. That is as low as it gets.
Son has always been one of my favorite players in football, like for quite a while, and he's showing this season what he can really be. And especially with Kane dropping deep, sometimes passing the ball to Son, who's up front, and Son scoring from there. Tottenham could challenge for the title this season.
Definitely, definitely. It's a fair point. Joshua, just a quick one because you joined us today. Where do you think Spurs are finishing the season, and who do you think is winning the title?
Ooh, Spurs finishing. Okay, that's going to be hard because Tottenham will always be Tottenham. You saw them scuff that lead they had. So I mean, they're always going to be Tottenham, and you can't really expect them to finish top four. I feel like they're going to be like sixth or fifth. I don't think top four is for Tottenham. And what is your second question?
Who do you think is winning the league?
The league. Okay, yeah. So that's really, really difficult to predict. But I would like to say it's between Liverpool and Manchester City, but mostly towards Liverpool. It could even be like at Everton, but you would expect Liverpool to just win because it's Liverpool. The
So
Liverpool
Liverpool's
now.
your pick.
Yep,
What about you,
Liverpool's.
Tejas? Like, we'll do this every week. Who do you think is going to win?
Hey,
I
man,
think he's gonna stick.
don't put
I
me,
think he's gonna stick
don't
with
Going
the
put
to
me
same.
on the
back
spot like
Everton
that.
still?
You know what? I'm gonna say Everton. But
Okay,
Uh,
if they
fair
don't
enough.
turn up next
Respect.
game, I'm gonna change my prediction.
It's
That's
a
what
long
I'll do.
season, guys.
what
But
about you,
respect,
Ishan?
respect. I am still unreserved, and I'm going to make a call come December, as I've stated
No, you
previously.
need to give me a
No, no,
name
no,
now.
no, no, no. You give now. You put me on
I
the
still
spot. We
believe
put you on the
Manchester
spot.
City could win it because I think Pep Guardiola will get sacked mid-season. What about you, Dev?
Okay.
I think it's going to be Man City as well.
Right. Boys, with that, we've come to the end of another episode on the Kickabout podcast. We just like to thank Joshua for joining us today. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And games are coming thick and fast, and we'll also be back very soon. So till then, take care. Bye bye. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Nothing.